I'm going to read from a section of poems in my book called In the Exchange. And before I do, I just want to thank Kirby for filming this and for letting us invade his outdoor patio space. It's been really terrific here, and I'm really grateful to Talon for publishing this book. It's a book that, for me, is about Toronto, or about Canada and the United States, and the boundaries, or the imagined boundaries between those two nations. And a lot of the work in here is trying to think through those relationships. This is In the Exchange. Filled the hours of today with many obligations. Paused a moment with the trash, icy and tight, to see light snow and orange street glow. A car pulled up to the curb. The guy who collects recycling rummaged through cardboard for bottles and cans. My footprints from earlier had faded under a white expanse of new snow, absolutely uneventful as language. The many traces of words lost, unvoiced in stillness. We are it, I guess, in the dark garbage calm of a week's remains. Mexican parrots are dim in my mind. The president of all the globe somewhere grows calm as a babe in a madness of who owns and doesn't. The man finds my empties, clanks a bag around to his car. Dear winter deities, let us go, believing in fragile exchange. Merchants covered the ocean, bloodied the St. Lawrence, the Great Lakes of the North. In manic disposition, their law imposes sanction. For once, it could just be quiet and dissension. I like the sound the snow makes under my feet. I listen to it squeak. I feel the inconstant slippage. The cold stings my arms. Another day and nothing, and the full dark after-dinner isolate remains. And this is a poem called Everyday You. Part of this book is also, I think, informed by lyric, by music, by musicality, and folk songs. And some of the next poems I'm going to read sort of dip into that. Everyday You. Every day you look for surprise in the ordinary routine of now. An awakening through the noise shows what's light and ready to be known, your own ongoing ground. And on you return like a musical pattern, on to the sound, on in the round of days to play in, as if a child wilded the lost and the found, the weird and the blatant beat. This is Everybody Ought to Treat a Stranger Right. It's about Willie Johnson, a great gospel singer from the 1930s who lived in Beaumont, Texas, and recorded his great recordings in Dallas in the 1930s. Vision isn't seeing, and blinded, the voice tears through Beaumont, Dallas, 1930s. Hot that sound, gospel tense, God laid out the road you're on. Set on fire, you, stranger, sit. Sound a lyric thrumming, Willie Johnson. Barrel-chested testament expands the cracked heat vocal strange, and appears not single nor personal. Pierce then the mask, one measures oneself, created. Atoms face the dark sees through. God don't never change. And this is one working through Woody Guthrie, Wreck on the Old Highway. Hang around, Daddy. Woods and fence line guide the highway. He was born working down and out, and robbed molasses or stole the colors and tore the feathers, ate pork fat, hominy, gravy, rattlers, green pastures cleared by Haitian traffic, Amance, Chata trails, highways engulfed by flame, and ransomed human dignity from machine code, that refusal, hymnal and song, the human bone cagey, seeing, and take privilege as mercy's cowed bulk, the meat and grain, they are eyes, what sees through, blank holes, ghost toys ache, invisible, outreaching. And this is a poem called Shreve. Shreve is a character that informs this book. Shreve was a Canadian in two William Faulkner novels set in the Deep South, and I found it odd that there was a Canadian there, and this figure out of Faulkner helped me think through this relationship of Canada and the United States. It's called Shreve. I used to walk with my son to his dojo. I'd sit there on a black vinyl sofa that smelled of other boys and men while he used his body on the mats with kids his age. I tried to read, looking up, looking down, my glasses moist in the humid gym. I wanted to figure something out about Canada and my being here from Texas. What were the differences? Where did nation intersect? Faulkner's Shreve got me thinking about past life in the southern USA and how the alien Canadian shield yielded such weird, rocky, yellow pine, organic, jagged density of place, and white European descended Protestant folks and Jewish people and Caribbean and Haudenosaunee and prairies, mountains, oceans, Arctic ice. There is no ground, no person, no thing. Shreve is character charisma, invented by American looking. Shreve presses on in disbelief for more story in the exchange. Huddles next to his American friend, one cold Cambridge night, listening, West Indies ships signaling, harvest routines, common, mean, discover no bottom to desire. My son tugs my arm. Did you see me? He said. I won the spar. The other boy laughing next to his father lowered my book, said hello to him. And I'm just going to end with a poem called The Dream Electric. Shaking leaves and blossoms, Pickering and Darlington, just south Lake Ontario, driving the 401, deciduous greenery, divided in machines of convenience and delicate uncertainties of material life. The highway is stalled with holiday traffic. In a time before me or you, a quiet, like crickets or running water texture the everyday. As if time never began, melting ice, species die off. In grain or meat, fleshy protein, we kill things or possess them, invent motors, fuel rods, cool or radioactive stew, like dreams of mythic creatures swimming open-eyed in emerald lumen to warm our nakedness. The romance of utopian dalliances and free soil transits destiny, or just plain history. The plant steams electric. Carolinian woodland, home to warblers and red-winged blackbirds, predates the human idea. I've gambled in England and in Spain, lonesome, the cuckoo, little white churches, clean fields, the energy of things released by sunlight, the maiden, a virgin dynamo luxuriant. Google the World Fair 1900, Henry Adams, cathedral buttresses and cinquefoil cruciform transepts, abstract force of piston and steam. Believe rapid telepathy, shamanic handprints stained in limestone, the ancient chemical, the chimeric charm, fueling up in Frontenac, narrowing distances, wind and light and sky. Thank you very much.